Now, the influencer lifestyle is something very attractive to most of modern day youth. In particular, if you're slightly above average looking female, becoming a streamer is the most attractive job in the world because it's life on easy mode, but to the nth degree. Now, when you fail at streaming, you can always sell pictures of your beehole on the internet. The internet has provided the world's easiest track for mid women that has ever existed outside of the brothel, perhaps. Although that wasn't exactly the best life, I'm told, especially when you have Hassan Piker as a client. But this individual, who is worth millions of dollars, I've never seen a single stream from this woman named Valkyrae. Her name is Ray, something or other. She's in her mid 30s. She said she went through her plans on the next 40 years, and she's getting absolutely eviscerated online for it because it's the most brain rot, Gen Z idiocy that I've ever heard. Okay. But before I go into her video, no sponsor, but look, there are lots of people in their life that choose not to have kids. And I think that's fine if that's what you want to do. There are a lot of people who just hasn't worked out for. There's a lot of people who life gets away from them and, they wake up and they're in their 40s and like, oh crap, But I think this like fetishizing a life without kids, a life of pure, uncut selfishness, of consumerism is what is likely the worst byproduct of streaming, of the streamer lifestyle, right? In particular for women and young women. Men are going to be men. They're going to do what they got to do. They can obviously be influenced by streaming. They're just as attracted to it. But it's particularly sad when probably the world's largest female streamer, at least on YouTube, is promoting this lifestyle of me, 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 me. I just want to stay hot. I just want to play video games. I don't think she's going to feel this way when the looks start to fade. I don't think she's going to feel this way when her doctor starts telling her, that she's running out of eggs, or that, her periods become less frequent, and she starts thinking about that. Like this is a 31-second clip that has sparked a massive discussion across the internet. So this is Valkyrae. Again, she's some chick streamer. I don't care. I don't watch women stream. In particular, ones who play video games and tell their female viewers that the best thing to do is be hot and not have kids. This is what she says for the next 40 years of her life, by the way. That would be 73. She's 33 now. I looked that up just because I was like, when I heard her say it, I was like, is she in her 20s? This is a very 20-year-old stupid thing to say. But then I looked up and she's in her mid 30s. I'm like, yikes. This is not a mid 30s. There are not a lot of mid 30s women who are saying, I just want to stay hot and play video games.
I've gotten over it. I'm probably never having kids.
Why? You're 33. You could have kids for the next 10 years of your life, uninterrupted.
It is what it is. I'm probably going to play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to be as hot for as long as I can. And
She's not hot. She's very mid. She's an average looking Latino chick. She doesn't bring anything to the table. She sounds incredibly selfish, by the way.
Probably going to keep making money.
Got to keep making money.
In the best ways I can, which is like doing commercials and shows. Like that's probably what's going to happen for the next like 40 years until I die. And I think people are just going to keep being mad at me about it. It is what it is. I don't know, man.
That is perhaps this is like how civilizations fall. By the way, Glimpse of Flight just subscribed over on Twitch. Thank you very much, dude. This is one of the saddest, this is like fourth wave feminism, third wave feminism, kind of, where it was like, you can be the girl boss, you can have it all. Now, I'm not saying that all women need to stay home and be baby factories. I'm not saying she can't stream. I'm not saying, but the fact that she's essentially advertising being single and alone and childless. I mean, all those pop vinyl figures you collect, Valkyrae, with your money, they're not going to chase the ghosts away when you're on your deathbed. All right. Again, I'm not saying everyone has to have kids. I'm not saying you're a failure if you don't have kids. I'm 42 and I have no kids. Not for lack of trying, but I'm certainly not out here telling other people that that's some great life. Just get your money, collect, consume, and don't have kids. Like, that's the message she's putting out there. Now, again, I a lot of people would probably want me to go harder on this chick than I am. But she's just young and extremely selfish. And 33, she's going to wish, I guarantee you she will have kids in the next 5 years, by the way. She'll be married with kids by 2030. Mark it down. She probably also has a secret boyfriend. Like, she probably has a secret boyfriend. She's probably had 24 abortions. But she just wants her male simp fans to keep giving her money. But like, and then she said, oh, and give money away too. Here's Tectone on everything. That's depressing AF. I can fix her. Women don't mature until they have to buy their own drinks at a bar. She will learn the hard way. Rich with no children is a pointless life. Lamau. Again, I kind of stay away from that side because, I don't have a brood of children. Look, if any of these women who want to give me crap about not having kids, I'd happily make a deposit. I'm a high earner. Private school, whatever the kid needs. Okay, so I'm not against having kids. All right. Sometimes things don't work out in your life, and I think that's very different, right? It's all very different than sitting up there saying, I just want to be rich and hot. By the way, again, you're not all that hot. You have an immense amount of makeup, cake face. You don't really bring anything to a relationship other than money, which men don't care about. Men don't care about some woman bringing money to the relationship. That's not what they want. Men want a woman who will be a wife. Isn't there like a crazy wall that Latinas hit? I could be wrong about that. I feel like I've heard that there's the Latina girls hit the wall like at 100 miles an hour when everyone else hits it at 60 miles an hour. I don't know. But Valkyrae says she's never having kids, plans to stay hot, play games, and make money for 40 more years. I just don't. I think simps have created this from women for sure. But you look at basically all the major streamers on Twitch, for example, Hassan Piker, rich, single. I assume he's probably gay, but I don't know that. No kids. But you also have guys like Tim the Tatman. Pretty sure he has kids. Dr. Disrespect has kids. They're just as popular as ever. So this idea that you can't, the idea that you can't have, both, that you can't be a popular streamer and have kids is also nonsense. I just think that proposing this and posting pictures like this with your tiny bobs out, okay? Streaming icon Valkyrae has made it clear she's mapped out her plan and unapologetically unconventional. It's actually super conventional for modern youth. It's super, super common for modern millennial men and women. Men and women. I want to be very clear. You chase a career. Take it from me, right? You chase your career. You chase this. I'm 42. I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And even if you don't, I think it's wildly irresponsible to pretend essentially that you're living your best life when you're not. I don't think having kids is the be all end all, but I also think that pretending like it's, you're just crushing life, stacking cash and buying pop figures. That's a horrible role model. Horrible role model. That's not something that I would ever want my daughter watching. Now, I don't know what her female audiences. My guess is she's probably 95. I bet you I have more female viewers than this chick does. I just have a feeling. I could be wrong. I just don't think a lot of women watch video game streamers, period. So I just don't think she has a lot of, I mean, you could look at the demographics of Twitch itself, something like close to 85% plus male, I believe the last report I saw, right? You know, this idea that you can't have kids and be on an internet show. I mean, Hannah Claire Brimlow works with me here, 25,000 live viewers every day on the show. She makes a good salary. She has a kid. The idea that, you know, streaming requires you to stay hot and consume is extremely sad. And, you know, everybody in these comments, like abysmal dog shit, so a meaningless life and zero evolution. Now, I also think there's a lot of childless weirdos on X that don't have kids themselves, but obsess about other people having kids. And, you know, how come you, like, my comment section's always full. Jeremy, you don't have kids. Yeah, but I'm not one of those people that says not having kids is like the end of the world. I tried. Okay. And like, I also don't think not having kids is the most amazing thing either. But I think that telling, like, I'm just going to stay hot and consume, that is the most selfish path of existence imaginable. It's not bold. It's not cool. It's not what I would want a role model to have. She has her choices in life, sure. You know, be hot for the next 40 years. What a pathetic vision for life. You know, this says you seem chill and are pretty, maybe stop being around other content creators or influencers and want to be celebs. You could find someone out there truly hold it down and appreciate you. When is she going to start being hot? Yeah, auntie, wrap it up. It's either won't have kids or no guys take you serious and see you as wifey material. So, I mean, this is very sad. Very, very sad. And mark my words, this woman will be married with kids in the next 5 years, but she will have put off a whole generation of her viewership women to get them to chase those pop vinyls and cheap, crappy samurai swords and game controllers on her wall. It's just sad. Let me know what you think in the comments.